CMO of The Future, Chief Marketing Officer, Joeri Billast.
Do you ever have a life-changing experience?
Consult companies in these new technologies.
How do you think the Web3 and AI is reshaping the future of CMOs?
We feel like, oh no, they got our data, now it's too late. But for the future, you can be more careful.
What if you can describe the Web3 in one word?
That's a danger for your business if you always say yes.
Yeah, because it's scary. First off, for people who doesn't know what is the difference between solopreneurs and entrepreneurs.
One of the biggest mistakes, and I see a lot of people do that, also experienced ones, is that they try to serve everyone.
If you are going to share 3 or 5 hacks that marketeers can use,
That's not about the content that you want to like to create.
Joeri Billast, how are you doing?
Hello, Amira. I'm excited to be at Marketing Plus and with you on the podcast. So I'm feeling great every time that I can talk to people and, make content.
Thank you so much. I really feel so excited, especially after the amazing keynote that you have presented on stage, CMO of The Future, Chief Marketing Officer of The Future. So as you know, I'm a marketeer and every marketeer wants to be a CMO. So now I can't really wait to dig deeper into some questions to you. But first, I want to know, how would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, as you said it, CMO of the Future. So people know me as the Web3 CMO, actually, with Web3 as an umbrella term for someone that makes sense of the metaverse, of AI, of everything around blockchain. So I advise companies, I consult companies in these new technologies. I also have my own podcast, Web3 CMO Stories. Like you said, everyone wants to be CMO. And I organize retreats in the beautiful Sintra in Portugal around Web3 and AI.
Yeah, very interesting. So what do you think, or how do you think the Web3 and AI is reshaping the future of CMOs for the next decades?
There is a lot of things that are happening with Web3 and AI. Already AI, it's in all our lives today. Everyone sees AI, maybe not yet uses it, but is actually in touch with AI, because AI for marketers can make sure that we personalize the experience that customers have with our brand or with our product. So the personalization is important. Productivity, it can make our life easier because like content generation, like recording a podcast, for instance, there is already AI that can help us with that. Now, Web3, in maybe a smaller sense of the word, is it around blockchain, meaning that you own your data. Like consumers are more and more aware that big companies like Facebook and like Google, that they use our data to target us. So we feel like, oh no, they got our data, now it's too late. But for the future, you can be more careful by using decentralized apps, decentralized system where you own your data.
Okay. So if you are to explain what is Web3 for someone who is not familiar, how would you explain that?
What I mostly do is comparing this with Web1. Web1 is the internet, actually. That when internet came, we were consulting information on the internet, we were doing research, we were reading information on the internet. That was the typical Web1. Now Web2, it became interactive. Think of social media apps where people were not only reading information, but they were also writing stuff on the internet. So we were giving data away on the internet. But what happens, it's of course fun, a lot of engagement. But those bigger companies, as I mentioned, they own your data. And that is what Web3 wants to solve. So that you own your data and that you only share what you want to share. So this is in a nutshell.
Okay, perfect. So how is Web3, from your perspective, is transforming marketing strategies nowadays?
Well, it gives more options for marketing strategies. Like I said, people in Web3, if you are aware of Web3, you only share what you want to share. For instance, you can share that you have been at an event on Web3, if you have, for instance, an NFT, a digital certificate, I think everyone here at Marketing Plus will receive a certificate, but it's on paper. Now, if you would have it as an NFT, you could decide to show it on the internet so that people, if they do research, they could find it. So what I then could do as a Web3 marketer, I could find all the people that have the NFT in their wallet, but I don't know who those people are. It's just a wallet address. But I could contact those people in a Web3 way, meaning giving them an airdrop with another. For instance, I could say everyone with this NFT now, they can have 1 hour free advice for me, or they can have one night in the Hilton, or something like that. Okay. And so you reach those people in a Web3 way, which is not possible in the Web2 way, and which also protecting their privacy. Other ways would be, if you think of virtual worlds, of course, you can create experiences that can be fun for consumers. Maybe some consumers that are not directly in a possibility to, take the car or take the plane or go somewhere, but can from their own homes experience. Like, for instance, imagine a virtual world with the Palace of Sintra, where I live. You could go in the virtual world and with your avatar walking around as if you were there. And then if you like it, you could book a trip. So those are already few ideas that are very possible.
Okay. So now everybody's concerned about the human interaction to be really eliminated in the tech-driven world that we are living in right now. So how do you ensure that human connection and growth aren't lost in this tech-driven industry?
So it's not like I talked about virtual worlds, that we should live in those virtual worlds. It would just help us to connect. For instance, what I did when I met these people in my metaverse event, those were Americans, people from Canada, people from France, people from all over the world. So I met them. So actually it was an extra human touch. I never met those people in real life. Now, the ideal world is a mix of both. Of course, would be like meeting people in real life, and then after that, maybe connect them in the metaverse again, or the other way around. You went to an event in the metaverse, and then after that, you meet them in real life. A bit like social media does, but then with an extra flavor of really have the feeling that you are there. In such a virtual world, if you have like a 3D glass on, it really feels like you're talking to each other. You are really in the same space. So for me, that helps. What I'm personally trying to do is, of course, I'm going to conferences where you meet people that are, interested in new technologies. But I have these retreats, and these retreats that I personally am organizing is actually to do that, have deeper connection with people.
Yeah, I can hear you well, but people are really concerned about the real interactions in the real life of seeing people and the togetherness moments and the connection and everything, because social media also eliminated a lot of the human connection, because now back in the days, if you want to go for someone to greet them or congratulate them for something, you go to their house, you knock the door, you see them, you spill the tea together. Now it's you send a WhatsApp message or you send so that's why people are a lot concerned about this to get more eliminated with the VR and the AI and everything.
Yeah. Actually, a few years ago, I gave a session about social media and mental health for a big consulting company, because they also are feeling that with the younger generation, that they were getting a bit, they lost track of the human connection.
Yes, it's scary.
Yeah, human connection is important. And I know with social media, it's actually you're connected, but you are also maybe a bit addicted if you're all the time reading stuff. So it's immersive worlds can help do that. And I think we all should be aware of the fact that we need to keep the human connection. But the real answer, I know we can be a bit afraid about that. But every change brings some pain, and then we need to bring the best out of that. And I know already, for instance, in virtual worlds, for people that don't have a lot of social contact, those virtual worlds can really be helpful. Or can maybe people who are a bit more introverts, to go in a virtual world to make a contact and then go outside. So I don't have the real answer for that. I would just say, try to have the best of both worlds. I try to do my thing, like I said, by organizing these retreats.
Yeah. So I've seen your book is #1 on Amazon, the 5K challenges for solopreneurs. So first off, for people who doesn't know what is the difference between solopreneurs and entrepreneurs, can you explain this briefly?
Yeah. So for me, people can be independent. You can be an independent, maybe journalist or an independent painter, but the term solopreneur really gives the idea of entrepreneurial, that you are someone who is an entrepreneur, who wants to, create stuff, wants to grow, wants to make a difference in the world, but is alone. He or she is alone.
Yeah.
So that's actually it's an entrepreneur, but most of the time is alone. That doesn't mean that he works with partners, that he has clients, that he has a lot of contacts, but he doesn't have a team. He's a team on itself, actually.
Yeah. So can you share some insights from the book that can help solopreneurs and entrepreneurs nowadays avoiding a lot of marketing mistakes in their businesses?
Yeah. So one of the biggest mistake, and I see a lot of people do that, also experienced ones, is that they try to serve everyone. They try to be everything for everyone. So if someone comes, can you do this? Can you do this? That they always say yes. But that's a danger for your business if you always say yes, because then you cannot make a difference with anyone. For instance, you can have a photographer, can be specialized in nature, can be specialized in people, can be specialized in business events. If you are specialized in something, then you can be really good at that. And it's also clear for your customers. But if you say, oh no, I can photograph everything. So this is a pitfall, because then it's harder to compete because you are not really standing out. Imagine if you are around a table and everyone is introducing themselves. And there are like 5 people that say, I'm a photographer. I am a photographer. Why? We do serve everyone. And one person says, I'm a photographer and I specifically do marriages. Or I specifically do family portraits. And you need someone for a family portrait. Who will you pick? So, and that's one of the mistakes.
Nice. This is a very interesting one.
Yeah. You asked me about advices too. So the advice would be, and it's actually linked to the mistake, is have a really clear definition of who your ideal customer is. And once you know that, you will have this person, you see this person, then you can really create content that is answering questions or problems that this person has. So marketing is one thing is that. The other thing is that people think they need to be on social media. So they are on social media because everyone says be on social media, but they are not really doing the thing that you should do on social media. This social media is meant for social is in the name. So this means creating good content, but also connecting with people, the social aspect, talking to you, listening to your customers, creating content. And it's better to create less content, but it's really meaningful than just all the time spitting out content just because you think you need to be visible on social media.
Yeah, amazing. So what if you can explain or not explain, what if you can describe the Web3 in one word? What would be the word?
Yeah, different words. I could choose,
You can choose, yeah.
I would say empowering, because empowering means the consumer is empowered to just choose and protect his data, choose what he wants to share, what she wants to share, and protect their data. So the power is in the hands of the consumer and not in the hands of the big tech companies.
Okay, nice. And what is the most overrated advice in marketing?
Well, I want to come back to the social media that they say to you, the gurus, oh, you need to be everywhere on every social media channel. You need to everywhere. You need to post a lot of content. It's good to be visible, and if you can make unique content, do it. But it's better not to post than just post something which is really generic and it's not really adding value to people's lives, because what people will see your post and they will not follow you anymore, or they will be bored, or they don't have a reason to follow you. And the algorithm will know, oh, this person does not post interesting content, so posts will be less shown. Whereas if you post more better content, I don't say more, but in general, if your quality of your content on average is better, you will have more success and a better reach.
Okay, interesting. So what is your go-to productivity hack? Now, many people, and including myself sometime, you keep procrastinating things like, okay, I want to do this. You're interested in like 100 things, but you didn't get any done. Any of them.
That's a productivity hack. If it comes to the first thing when you were asking the question, I was thinking, okay, productivity, like I just showed in my keynote, I would say use AI, ChatGPT for improving productivity. But if you want to get things done, what works for me is just in the beginning of the day, just do this thing first before you do anything else. Just oblige yourself not to open your email box, not to check your social media, but do that thing first. And once you've done that, continue with the rest.
So prioritize the task that you want to get done.
And mostly it's like the thing that you don't like to do. But if you don't put it, you won't do it because you will be distracted by things that you like to do. And that's, for me, really putting it in the calendar and really doing it, what you need to do. Like, I don't like administration, but if I want to get it done, it should really be there. You should do this before you do anything else, before I do social media, because if I do Web3 or my events, my podcast, because I really like that, first do that, and then it gets done.
Yeah. So would you mind if I asked you to share a failure that taught you a very powerful lesson?
Failures will happen, because if you don't try it, it won't work. But sometimes just don't have enough patience for something to happen. You know, when you want to reach something in life, you start to build, and because you don't have directly results, you give up. And sometimes, I want to build an online course and I wanted to launch it, but it doesn't directly seem to attract people, so I stopped it. But like, for instance, with my podcast, I really continue doing that. So like you have the podcast too. I started the podcast from zero, of course, but I just continued. And now I have more than 200 episodes, and now I'm here at Marketing Plus on stage. So you see, just by continuing doing something and really be like consistent. And a lot of people say, what are you doing this for? But you just continue stubbornly, do it, and then, you will get success.
So this taught you that the power of consistency. The consistency is really powerful.
The consistency of making good quality content, this helped me a lot by doing this, because people say, why are you doing this? Because it takes effort recording podcast episodes. It creates time. It creates, in the beginning, it will not be good. It will only get better. People will not listen. So it's frustrating when you start. But if you never start, you will never come to the point when it becomes successful. So everyone needs to start somewhere, right? Because you only see people that they say, oh, they are lucky because they have this, because some people have luck. But most of the time, you haven't seen the hard work they did before they got there. And that's what people don't see.
So now our episode is coming to an end. And I want to ask you one last thing. If you are going to share 3 or 5, you choose, hacks that marketeers can use to boost the awareness and the convergence of their businesses, like solopreneurs and entrepreneurs. Back to your best-selling book.
So my book is from a few years ago, but still there is valid in there that helps. So like I would say, it's not a hack, but it's a system that you need to understand who your target audience is and really make the exercise and really go deep. Not only, I want to target, marketers. No, really go, who is this marketer? Does he work in big companies, in small companies? In which niche is that? Does the marketer have children? Does the marketer travel? Which other kind of books that he's reading? And so you really work on it to have really a good view on this person. Secondly is, of course, you need to know your competition. What is all the rest doing? Is all the rest of the people is doing one type of strategy, companies, which is mostly happening. What can you do to be better? You just do the analysis in an Excel. What is everyone doing? And what can I do better? And if you get a bit better on every point, this will help you. And then the third thing is, when you make content, think about the person that is seeing the content, not about the content that you want to like to create, which means is giving solutions for problems, talking a bit about why you are doing what you're doing, not just about telling what you are doing. So I would first say why, explain to the audience why you are doing the activity that you're doing, then explain them how it is you are working, how is this activity going, how can people work with you, how, instead of directly selling them which is products or services. Because most marketers, they just send you emails, messages on LinkedIn, and they say, I want to sell you this, that, when do you have time? And mostly written with ChatGPT and always the same text. Why on earth would I react to that? So it's everyone is doing that. So it's just destroying your brand.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Joeri. It was really wonderful having this conversation with you. And I feel so lucky today for meeting you and having this episode with you today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.